Hi everybody, Tyler here with Sparkle with Tyler, and I'm here to catch up on a WIP and Chat. It's been a while, so I just wanted to post because my original intention was to post pretty much twice a week during drills and chills, and obviously that has not been the case. Kind of get into that in a little bit as to why, but first and foremost, I'm not working on my jack-o'-lantern time canvas anymore, and that's because I finished it. I finished it on September 9th and turned it in with the exit entry form, and I'm all set to go. So super excited about that. Didn't expect to get it done so quickly. So that was exciting and honestly desperately needed, based on like what I'll get into in a couple minutes. But super happy to be getting that project done. And then I was trying to figure out what my next project was, and I decided on this one, which is Magic Arcades by, I believe this is Miss Holly, but I will double check and make sure before I post this. So yeah, I have a little sticky note, so I try and remain as on track as possible. So I finished Jack-o'-lantern time, and I kit that down at like 12:30 a.m. And then I went and got my rental car basically for my work trip and was actually finishing kitting down in their parking lot before they opened. I was putting stuff away in baggies, and I'm sure it looked crazy, but I had time. Why not? So finished that and was prepping my canvas, not my canvas, excuse me, but was prepping the containers so that they were empty and not staticky and all of that before I left. So got all that done, got my canvas decided, packed everything up for work trip, which included all of my recording stuff for the record. Like my gooseneck and my microphone and all of that. It's not a lot, but it's enough that it requires another bag. So got all of that. Assumed that I was going to be recording in my hotel room for at least a WIP and Chat, and got ready, packed, and left for work trip. So I kit up while I was there, and I kit up this painting, which is Magic Arcades. Realized that I didn't have enough of my little containings. So I was kind of working out of the little like 2 millimeter bags or whatever that I carry with me, and some of the DAC bags. Made it happen. It worked fine, but I was just kind of winging it. And I actually did record a WIP and Chat there that I was going to upload to the cloud and basically remote into my home computer in order to like my home editing software and upload while I was on this trip. Long story short, it the the video that I recorded, I was super happy to be on this trip. I was saying like, hey, this is going to be great. I'm really excited. All is well. The next day, that meeting did not go how I expected. And as such, I just didn't feel that that video was congruent with how I was feeling going forward. So I basically I've decided that it's never going to get posted. And that's part of the reason that there's been such a gap between WIP and Chats. It's not that it wasn't recorded, it's never going to be posted. For good reason, right? I think it's super important for what we post and what we say to be congruent with how we feel. So that was an interesting situation to go to this trip, go on this trip, and kind of have a 180 experience to what I expected and actually recorded, right? So I had literally put down, like, this is gonna be great, guys. So that being said, I was still fortunate that I had this canvas with me. I ended up getting the first, basically to here from the, let me move it. I got from the bottom of the washi tape up to here essentially. So like the first 2 perforations done until like 1, 2, 3, like 3 by 2 full perforations done while I was on this trip. And that was, I mean, so that's a plus. And that's because I was, hanging out in the hotel room doing, my own thing. So there was a plus side to it. I just didn't end up recording it. So I just kind of needed to be in that bubble, that personal bubble, or creating my own sense of safety. But things happen for a reason. We'll see what it is. Right now, I don't know what that reason is, but I was just really glad to come home. When I got home, which was Friday, I kind of I was exhausted, right? So I wanted to, and this was like not this Friday, but the previous Friday. I think it was Friday the 13th. I basically just spent time with people I knew were like safe people, I guess, that were in alignment with the people I needed to spend my time with, including like my husband and thing 1 and thing 2 and all of that. Basically just my family, and finished up my work for the week. And I don't know if I even did laundry, right? Like, to give context. But I just really kind of made a point to wrap up my work week and put it away, because it was a lot. Like, what happened on that trip in those meetings was not good. It was, I think there was some big breaches of trust that occurred in terms of like how stuff was presented. It didn't, I know it sounds cryptic, but obviously, like, I can't be like, oh, hey, this is what exactly happened. But basically it didn't turn out well. Like, so I, it was a bummer. I was really happy to be home. I'll spin it in a very positive way in that I was really glad to be home. And it was a really good reminder that, like, how important communication is and how important it is to involve people in decision making when it affects them. Like, that cannot be overlooked. Like, to include people when they're affected in decision making, or at least notify them. So yeah. Then Saturday and Sunday, this was like super great. Like, talk about a turnaround. I had a like brunch date with some people that I always meet on the weekends. He's pretty, by the way. And so we did brunch and caught up with some, those friends who I meet every month. And then on Sunday, I coffeed with my mom, and I took thing 1 with me. He was very happy to see his grandma and his great grandma. Thing 1 does not get to see his grandmas very often, like on my mom's side, and that was awesome. So we all went and hung out, and thing 1 slept on his blankie outside of the coffee house and just lived his best life. He got his whippy cream. He got his puppuccino. And I just caught up with my mom and my grandma, and it was great because I wasn't going to see them prior to my surgery. So it was just like chill. And I really appreciated kind of their insight on what had happened at that meeting, right? Like, it was kind of like, am I crazy? or like, is my like reaction valid? So, um, yeah, but it was also just good to catch up with them because I don't get to see them all that often. Um, and then I came home on Sunday and it was back to work, right? So the next couple days, like the work days, prior to surgery, were just kind of, you know how you like tie up loose ends before you go on vacation? I'm not good at that because I am terrible at taking time off. At my previous employer, I actually was told one time, like, I was literally almost like, I guess, sent home to take vacation because I finally was like at my wit's end. And so it's that kind of situation with me where I'm really bad about taking time off. And I am not great about prepping for it as a result. So um, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was just like trying to figure out what I needed to do, what level of urgency, all of that. It was strange to know that I was going to be leaving. And I say this actually in a good way. Everyone is replaceable, as in like everyone is trained to do my job in my area. So it's not like I could have gone out on leave for a week or two if I needed, and everything would have been fine. But just, I don't know, it feels weird for me to leave responsibilities. I'm so accustomed to being the one who's responsible for my stuff. And I don't know. I just, when Wednesday rolled around and I was having to log off for Thursday, Friday, I didn't really know what to do with myself. So, but I did leave the office set up to come back on Monday, today, with stuff just ready to go. So I knew that I was going to have some projects that were literally like change the date on this and, upload it if it's ready to go. So, like, thank you, previous Tyler, because she set me up for success prior to leaving. And then, yeah, Wednesday, like when you prep for surgery, you're not allowed to have meals or whatever prior to like a certain time before you're put under general anesthesia. And so, followed that protocol and went in super early for surgery. And they did a super cool thing called a tympanoplasty, where they grafted my eardrum. And now I can't hear. I can't hear for several weeks because my eardrum has, this graft and all of this like dissolvable foam packing in it. It's amazing. If you're not squeamish, and you're into like medical stuff, it's a really, really cool procedure. I think they actually have some on YouTube you can see. But I can't hear for anything. So like it's if you want empathy building in terms of like hearing loss, just have diminished hearing. Like the amount of diminished hearing I have and had previously with my other side, my other ear when they did this last year, it was a huge empathy builder because I learned just like how much and how quickly people can get frustrated with you when you ask them to repeat themselves. And it's not because you're not listening, it's just because you can't hear. So it's really, really interesting. And now, having been on the opposite side of that, it's a really good reminder for me just to be patient. And now I'm back in that position where I can't hear anything. So I'm really glad that I have family members who are patient and are willing to repeat themselves and talk in my direction, or say things in different manners, like different wording. That is all very helpful. But right now, I mean, this morning I couldn't tell if it had rained outside. it was actively raining or if it was the sprinkler, because my good ear was covered and my bad ear was up. So I will never know until, like, I don't think I'll ever know, but it was nice. I mean, the tiny bit I could hear, it was nice and soothing. Um, Things like that, though. Um, it's you just kind of roll with it. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's surgery. I have post-op. It's like 2 weeks from surgery, so I'll go in and they take like they pack it. It's so, like I said, if you're into like medical stuff, it's really cool. At my post-op, it's 2 weeks from the date of surgery, and they will take out like all the packing that's in there. The foam that they put in the front and behind of the eardrum and the graft is it dissolves. So, but they take the rest of it out, like what's actually in your ear canal, and it's it's so cool. But it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, and I'm not looking forward to that part. But I'm looking forward to it healing and having 100% hearing back. So it's it's gonna be fine. Last time I had this, I literally, like, before my surgery on my right ear, the night before, it might have been the night before or a couple nights before, I literally was on the floor sobbing that I was gonna die because I didn't know, and I just didn't, you fear the unknown. And this time I walked in and it was just a totally different experience. I was like, good morning. Just, I was like, I didn't remember being in this operating room last time. I don't remember any of this. And I was so freaked out the first time, and this time I was just like, okay, I want to make sure I don't fall off the operating table. How do you want me to sit? And I was just chilling, and then I was out. So it was a very different experience, and was not scared at all. It was mostly just like, the only thing is I just did not, I did not want to deal with the IV. I've had so many bad experiences with having an IV inserted that it was the one thing I knew I wasn't going to be okay with. And I was like super lucky. The universe was like, hey, I'm going to throw you a bone. And the nurse who inserted my IV was absolutely amazing. I didn't even know it was done. And it didn't bruise. Like, you can actually see, like, it didn't bruise. So I, I just, how there's gifts from the universe. That was my gift from the universe. So maybe it's my gift because I was on good behavior. Or maybe it's my gift because my work trip went to hell and back. I don't know. But it's all good. And then post-surgery has been really interesting. It all worked out. Like, I took 2 days off from work, and I swear to you, I have slept so much. I don't remember sleeping this much the first round, but I slept basically all of Thursday, which is expected because you're under anesthesia, right? And then I basically slept all of Friday and all of Saturday. And then Sunday was kind of the first day where I was up, for like more up than down. And it was exhausting. It was absolutely exhausting. So yeah, I mean, I know I'm sitting here going and mumbling about it, but today was the first day where I've really, really talked, and that's part of the reason my throat is so scratchy. I talked more today than I have in the last several days combined, and I have pain from my surgery, but the main pain I had was from being intubated, and also from, I don't know when, but I bit my tongue at some point, either when I was like in surgery or in recovery. Those are the two things that just really hurt the first day. So I'm glad that went away, and now I'm back to like standard, no pun intended, standard operating procedure, with like where I am with pain wise. And I'm really lucky that I know what's going on, been through it before, and just in general, like, it's super tolerable. Annoying, but tolerable. And it's definitely something that I will, like, I can get through. It's just like, okay, let me go take a Tylenol. Um, yeah, I'm lucky. But other than that, um, it's going to be interesting over the next couple weeks because I can't wear any kind of like over the ear headphones, and that means that I don't have stereo sound. I have several videos that are like pending edit. I did actually record them prior to leaving, and I did, have intentions of getting them posted before I left and putting them in queue, but it just, life happens, right? But now that I don't have stereo sound, it's gonna be kind of funny, getting those posted. They'll still have stereo sound, but I won't be able to hear it. I think that's kind of funny. I might have to have someone I know listen to them prior to posting. But I do have like an unboxing and all of that I have partially completed. I was working on it over the weekend, the time that I was awake. And I definitely have some other recordings that I want to make, but it would be, I guess I want to say, like, I don't want to be doing unboxings for people if they don't want to see them. So my thought process on it is like, I have some super old, I have some super old canvases that I can do unboxings for, like Robot Repair. That was an archived one that I got through a D-stash. So I'm more than happy to do that kit as a unboxing. I think it would actually be kind of fun to go through and look at like the old kit versus the new one, like a new one. But also I have some kits that have come that have just been released. So it's kind of this balance of old versus new. And also, like, I just got my first trading card. It's right here. Like, it took that long for me to get a trading card. You would think with all the kits that I get, I would have one sooner, but yeah, this is it. It came really scratched. It's just kind of crappy as someone who's a gamer and a TCG player, but like, it's okay because it is what it is. But yeah, I got my first card. Super stoked. I think it's a bronze one, but I was super excited. And of course, like, I'm like, cool, it's Margaret Morales because I think her stuff's so pretty. But it just sits on my desk. And it's gonna sit on my desk indefinitely because I'm not gonna like put them away. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them, actually. I don't know if I'm gonna hang them, if I'm gonna put them on like a magnetic pin board, something like that. Don't want to damage them. But eventually I'll redeem them. I just don't know what I'll redeem them for. People have been getting the like super rare cards. I know that people call them black cards, but like for me that just makes me think of Uber Black. And it doesn't sound fancy. I would much rather call them Onyx. It just sounds better to me. So that's what I'm gonna call them. And so anyway, like the legendary cards essentially. I'm very interested to see what people redeem those for and what DAC will allow with their licensing, because as like the creme de la creme kind of company, it's going to be interesting to see what they are okay with. Like, for example, are they going to allow Kyle Farron, who does all of the Root board game pictures, would they allow any of his art to be done as a custom? It's kind of ambiguous, right? The other thing, I didn't bring this up earlier, it didn't even dawn on me, like, Disney is now licensed with DAC. So what's up with that, right? Like, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with that. Like, are the princess panels coming back? That could be wild. Right, that could be totally crazy. Um, I want to be clear. I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue if this is going to be the case, right? I'm just chatting. Um, but I wasn't like super shocked. But I wasn't expected either. I think enough people have been wanting DAC to link up with them. Um, it just makes sense, um, money wise, for Disney to partner with them, frankly, especially this time in prep for the holidays. So super interesting. I I'm trying to think, like, we're getting ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? And I'm sure with the DAC and Disney collab that we're going to have a lot of paintings that are coming out with Disney. But I don't know, right? Like, this is all guesses. Um, it's gonna be interesting. I'm just curious too, like, what canvases are coming out. I think they're gonna do. I'm curious if they're doing 100 again this year for Black Friday. Um, but you never know. We'll find out. Um, it's it's gonna be an adventure to see what they release. Um, but it would be interesting to see if they do any of the like licensed companies as releases, or if they're just going to keep licensed artists as their kind of, um, I guess, like bread and butter. I don't really have a great like way of putting it. Um, I don't know. So I think it'll be interesting. I think the immediate thing that popped to my mind when I saw the Disney licensing was the Princess panels, because that's always been such a thing, right? I think those are so beloved, and I'm interested to see where that's going to go. Um, other than that, it's just going to be kind of a time will tell. I I'm literally like, you can tell I'm literally like wilting as I talk to you, um, because I'm literally like day by day, minute by minute at this point in terms of recovery from surgery. So day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute is literally my mantra right now. Um, the fact that I was able to get all of my work done today and make it through work day is just remarkable to me. And I folded a load of laundry. So, um, my goals right now, I'm trying to think like what's the stuff that's going on that I can focus on before my next whip and chat with y'all. I think my goal is to just continue working on posting videos and working on this kit, and honestly working on some of my square kits, um, and flower buns, and not smacking my camera, um, because those are the ones that are like actively on my to-do list, and just surgery recovery. I think it's really easy for me to forget, like, I've had major surgery, and even though I'm up and moving and it doesn't like look like I had major surgery on first glance, it was like I I'm not necessarily like, I'm tired. I'm really tired. Um, so just kind of making sure that I'm prioritizing the right things. But my goal is to continue posting and being active here and giving the people what they want. Um, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope if you are affected by any of the wildfires in California that you are safe, your property is safe, your family and your animals are safe. I know that we are headed into wildfire season, so, um, I know this is a weird little PSA, but make sure that whatever emergency bags you have, like, please make sure that's all ready to go because you never know when an emergency is going to hit you. I will talk to you soon. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and hopefully more of this will be done by the next time I see you. Bye.